Time to buy books. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I hope you guys can see me. I'm just come right here to see if you guys can see my face. Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are going to do a book haul. What's in my library? What's in my 2024 library? What's in my book haul, okay? So this video is for the bookworms and the bookworms only, okay? This video is for the bookworms and the bookworms only. So I have a variety of different books, from fiction, nonfiction, self-help, autobiography, biography, psychology, business, novels, short books, anything you can think of, right? So starting off strong, I am just going to show you guys these two books, all right? So Make Up Your Life and Makeup is Art. These are two makeup books that I got from my mother. And it's basically just showing you different techniques on makeup and like how to shape your eyebrows, your eyelashes, different eye palettes. Fundamental, artistic. This book is from, who wrote this book? It's by the Academy of Freelance Makeup. All right. So these are your beauty books. This is a Cleopatra book. I can't say much about this book because I have not read this book yet, but this is a Cleopatra book. Cleopatra was a seductress, I think. She was a queen, or I don't necessarily know who Cleopatra was or like what she did or what she's famous for, but her name is pretty popular. And she's popular among like along the lines of a seductress. Like she's a seductive woman. She's a beautiful woman, and she were married many times. She had children, and yeah. So this is your Art of Seduction. I have an Art of Seduction book, and this is by Robert Greene. Robert Greene also have the 48 Laws of Power book. I've read the 48 Laws of Power. I have not finished reading this book, but I've started it. I'm a couple of pages in. I take notes and everything, but the Art of Seduction. This is, did I finish reading this book? This is American Empress. This is your American Empress book. This is a book by Nancy Rubin, and I believe it dates back to, this book is based in like the 1960s, 1970s. Marjorie, I'm not sure how you say it, but if you guys ever heard of Post Cereal, she is the daughter of the man that created the Post Cereal, and it's basically just telling his story and how that came about. And then after he died, how she came and like took over the business, and it's a really interesting book. Atomic Habits. This is a book I recommend anybody to read. This is a book. Look at it again. Atomic Habits. This book changed my life. This book has changed my life in various of ways because it just made me more aware of my habits. It made me like literally more aware of my habits and more aware of like what I'm doing and how I'm maneuvering and ways that I can just make my life easier. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Okay. This is a book I recently just read. It is called The Golden Cage. It is a novel. This is by Camilla Lagerberg. This is a really good book. I really did enjoy this book when I read this book. Yeah, like this book had me glued to it, actually. It had me really, really glued to it. This is a really good book. It's a novel. It's about a woman that lost herself to a marriage, and then she found herself and rebuilt herself up from nothing. It has a really big plot twist in here, actually. The end of the book is a really, really big plot twist. It was like, what the fuck? Like, how did that happen? This is my favorite book. My favorite book, this is a classic. This is called The Secret Garden. This is my favorite book of all time. This book is by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is my favorite book all time. I recommend this book to anybody and everybody. Now, put these out. So this is a family book. This is a Martin Luther King book, and this is a coming of age in Mississippi book. So these books all pertain to coming of age, Martin Luther King, and a family book. These books all pertain to slavery and segregation and Jim Crow laws and just how it was back in the day for African American people. I recommend these books to anybody that wants to know more about the history of being an African American, wants to know more about the history of slavery, wants to know more about like how Jim Crow laws were, how it was to be an African American back in these times. Family is by J. California Cooper. Martin Luther King Jr. Warrior for Peace is by Tanya Savory. And Coming of Age in Mississippi, this is an autobiography from Anne Moody. I really did love this book. This book was a really good book, actually. This book was a really good book, too. It taught me a lot of stuff about Martin Luther King that I did not know about Martin Luther King. Cool. The Letters to the Daughter I've Never Had by Miss Toller. Lynn Toller. Miss Toller. So she is a judge, and this book is nothing but advice. It's nothing but advice that you can take forever, use forever. And this is a really, really good book. Letters to the Daughter I've Never Had. Every woman should read this book. Every girl should read this book. Everyone should read this book. Especially if you are a woman. Leisha Schleicher, Girl Logic. I picked this book up in Dollar Tree one day for like $1. The book itself costs like not $1. The book itself costs $27, but this was at the Dollar Tree. Still, you guys, fun fact, you can get books from a Dollar Tree that's like $1, and they use like $30-something, but you can go to the Dollar Tree, and if they find good books, they're literally $1. Fun fact, you can get a $30 book for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar Tree and pick up some books. Anyway, so this book is called Girl Logic, and basically it's just a girl self-help book, kind of, sort of. It's just going over experiences about being a girl, like experiences that all girls can relate to, and just how to maneuver with those experiences, how to go about in the world as a woman, bound to the opinions of others. Quiet. I have not finished reading this book. See, I have a bookmark. I'm on page 134. So, Quiet, this book is The Power of Introverts in the World That Can't Stop Talking, and it's basically just like explaining to you the power of silence and the power of shutting up. This book basically tells you to shut up. This book tells you to shut up. Really. Okay, and then I have $1 Million Financial Advisor. I have not read this book, but I am currently about to read this book. And it's just, I guess, financial advice from financial advisors. So this is a book I'm currently about to start reading today. This is a book that I just finished reading today. This is a book called Lady Q. Really, really good book. This is by Raimundo Sanchez and Sonia Rodriguez. And the book just basically shows you, like, the life of a woman in a gang. Like, women in gang. It basically shows you the life of a gang member and just how abuse and how, it basically just shows how you become a product of your environment. It shows you the downfall of becoming a product of your environment. A really good book. A really good book. I just finished reading it today. A really good book. Many Masters, Many Lives. This book is a psychological book. The lady was in therapy, and she just basically goes through a hypnosis, and it just goes over her past lives and who she was in her past life and what she did in her past life and how it brought her to the life that she was living today and how her past lives affected the life that she lives today. So Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss. Good book. I got this book from the Book Exchange. It's an $11 book. These two books. So this book is A Beginner's Guide to the Stock Market. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty self-explanatory. A Beginner's Guide to the Stock Market. This book is by Matthew R. Crather. Now this book is called The Richest Man in Babylon. This book is, it's a really good book. It teaches you a lot about valuable lessons when reading this book, about money, about loyalty, about like just trusting yourself. The Richest Man in Babylon. This book is by George S. Clason. Okay, so this book is called Psycho-Cybernetics: A New Way to Get More Living Out of Life. I have not read this book. Not too sure what it's about. Shoot, but that's what this is. The cover ripped somewhere, so. When women lead, what they achieve, why they succeed, and how can we learn from them? Julia Borston. I'm pretty sure I got this book from Barnes & Noble. I had seen it, and I'm like, oh, I really, really want to read this book. But that's basically what this is. I've started it. I didn't finish it. It was just, it's a lot of statistics. And I'm going to go back and reread it. A lot of these books I'm going to go back and reread. Just because, like, you know, you kind of, when you read something the second time, you read stuff that you missed the first time. It's like going back to rewatch a movie. When you go back to rewatch a movie, you see stuff the second time that you can see the first time, and so on and so forth. So, When Women Lead, What They Achieve, Why They Succeed, and How Can We Learn From Them? Julia Borston. Cute, right? I recently just read this book, Why Men Love Bitches. Why Men Love Bitches. And from the title alone, you think it's just like telling you to be mean and rude to men, but really, it's really not. It's really just telling you just to respect yourself. It's just have some type of respect and decency for yourself, and to have your own life outside of a man. It teaches you not to let a relationship or a man consume your life, pretty much. This book is by Sherry Argoff. If I'm saying his name incorrectly, I'm sorry. But yeah, Sherry Argoff. We got our For Dummies book. For Dummies. So these books are Creating a Business Plan for Dummies, Starting a Business All-in-One for Dummies. These are your study books. These are my study books. As you guys know, I'm building businesses, and I didn't go to college, and this is how I learn. I get books, and I read from experiences. I take notes. I go back and I read and I learn, and yeah. So I have Creating a Business Plan and then Starting a Business Plan. This is 6 books in one. This is just one book. That's why the difference in the sizes. I have Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I also had the book Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, but I let my Uber driver borrow that book. And speaking of, I need to text that Uber driver and see, hey, you still got my book? Anyways, so Rich Dad's, Poor Dad's Guide to Investing. That is what this book is. It's a really, really good book by Robert T. Kiyosaki. I really like Robert T. Kiyosaki. I like the way that he articulates himself in the books, because he teaches in a way that it's entertaining, so it's not a boring read. Even though you're learning from the book, it's not a boring read. And he teaches you step by step how to get rich. Step by step how to get rich. It's not a how to get rich quick book. It's simply a how to get rich. Junie B. Jones. Junie B. Jones. Junie B. Jones are my favorite childhood books. So I picked these up so I can read them and pass them on to my children so they can read them. And I'm just going to end up getting her whole collection of Junie B. Jones books. I love Junie B. Jones. I love Junie B. But the B stands for Beatrice. So Junie B. Jones. Junie B. Jones. Junie B. Jones! Shout out to Barbara Park. Shout out to you, Miss Barbara Park, for making these books. This book is my childhood. Mind Matters. This is a book for the psychology of the Black community, and it goes into mental illnesses and mental diseases, and it just goes into depression, anxiety, etc., etc., etc. It just takes you into a deep dive of the mind of Black communities. The 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements is a really good book. I believe it's do not assume. Let's see. So the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. That's where I got always do my best from. Like, anything that I do, I'm going to do my best at it. You know? But the 4 Agreements is a wisdom book by Don Miguel. I really enjoyed this book. This book is called The Pilgrimage. They also have a book called The Alchemist. It is by the same author that wrote The Alchemist, and I've read The Alchemist. I don't have the book, but I have read The Alchemist. and by Paul Coelho. This book basically is just taking a man on his journey. He's just finding his own path, and he's going on his own journey and finding himself and finding things along the lines of that journey. Carnegie Hill. I like this book. I did just recently read this book. This is a novel, and it's just about a place in New York called Carnegie Hill, and it was just about the lives of the people that live inside of that hotel, or the people that live inside of that building. Carnegie Hill. It's a really good book. By Jonathan Banter. Okay. Tom Lake. This was a really good novel too. So this book is called Tom Lake. I read this book, and it is a really good book. It's a love story. It's a mom is telling one of the summers in her life to her daughters on a cherry farm. It's a really good book. This book is by Ann Patchett. This book is called Our Kindred Home. I have not read this book. I believe it's Herbal Recipes, Plant Wisdom, and Seasonal Rituals for Rekindling Connection with the Earth by Alyssa Morgan. I haven't read this book. I got it from the Dollar Tree. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon. Interesting. Think and Grow Rich by, I read the notebook. I guess I wrote a note at the back. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book came to me in my dream, and I read this book, and this book has changed my life. It changed my way of thinking. And that's all it is to it. It changed my life. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You want to be rich? Read books of the rich. These 3 books I have not read. So it is, this book popped up in my dream. OMG. That's crazy. So this book is called Games People Play, which I am either going to read this book or $1 Million Financial Advisor next, because this book popped up in my dream. But this is one of the books that I've read, that I haven't read, but this is a book that I have. Games People Play, it is by Eric Berney, MD. So I'm guessing he is a psychologist. The Psychology of Human Relationships. And then I have this book, I have bookmarks on in these books. This book is called The Intelligence Trap. Now, I have not read The Intelligence Trap. Interested in it. I'm going to end up eventually reading it. But this is called The Intelligence Trap. And this is Revolutionize Your Thinking and Making Wise Decisions by David Robinson. Yeah. I picked up this book at the bookstore, and it is Life is in the Transitions, Mastering Change at Any Age, which is by Bruce Filler. Haven't read this book, but I'm going to read it. It's a New York Times bestseller. Penguin published it. Interesting. So The Girl in the Picture. This book is about 2 friends. The girls in the picture. This book is about 2 friends. One is an actor, one is a director or a writer, and it just shows their life back in the 1920s, 1930s, and they're starting off of film and movies and TVs and script writings and everything. This is just like a blast from the past. It was a really good book. It just shows the different dynamics, and it shows how friendships change, relationships change, careers change, and just how life changes in general if you stick to your dreams. This book is Maureen O'Hare, Tis Herself. I really did like this book, actually. So Maureen was one of the first women that played in Technicolor back in the day, back in old Hollywood age, the golden age of Hollywood. Maureen O'Hare was one of the first women that played in Technicolor, and she had really green eyes and really vibrant hair. So it just took along with her. It just showed her story. It showed like she was in various marriages, and she had a lawsuit on a big movie production, or like she had a lawsuit against who did she have? She had a lawsuit against someone, and then she won. She's an Irish woman. It's a really interesting book. Spirits of the Earth. This book just teaches you that everything on the earth is a spirit. Everything on the earth is a sign, from the way the animals move to the way they talk. This is a really good book. This is a really good book. And A Guide to Native Americans' Nature, Symbols, Stories, and Ceremonies by Bobby Lake Tom. Cicely Tyson, Just As I Am. I don't know if you guys know who Cicely Tyson is, but Cicely Tyson is one of America's world-renowned actresses. She is a wonderful actress, and I know you know her because you've seen her on your screen multiple times in many projects and many movies. You've seen her on your screen, or you have been seeing her on your screen for your whole life. So this is an autobiography, I believe, and she's just telling her story of how she came to be about and how she came to be an actor. And I didn't know a lot about her at all, actually. I just knew she was an actor. I only seen her face on the screen, but actually learning about her and learning about her story makes you have a much more profound respect for the people that you're watching. The Girl with Seven Names. I love this book. I love this book. I love this book. This book is by Hannah Lee. The Girl with Seven Names escaped from North Korea, and it takes you into an insight about North Korea, South Korea, China. It shows you about their governmental systems and how that works, and it just shows you about the life of being a woman in Korea, and like just how to get out of Korea and how she got out of Korea to become to where she was, and how she ended up having 7 names. Misty from Chickateague. Oh, I love Misty from Chickateague. This book taught me to not let anybody tame me. And not necessarily because Missy let anybody tame her, because Missy had a mother named Phantom, and Phantom didn't let anybody tame her or catch her until she wanted to. So I would not be tamed unless I want to be tamed. Misty from Chickateague. This book is called Harriet Jacobs, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, written by herself. Now, I have not read this book, but this is a African-American history book. And I guess it is a book about a woman being a slave. I got this book because I guess I didn't read it when I first got it. I thought it was like a book about Harriet Tubman, because I got this book like last February. Yeah, for Black History Month, I was writing an article about Harriet Tubman. I wanted to write an article about Harriet Tubman. So I got this book, and I said Harriet, but it wasn't Harriet Tubman, it was Harriet Jacobs. This is a book about Frankenstein. I have not read this book, but it's Frankenstein with a foreword by writer James Miller. Oh, the book is just called Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Interesting. Last 2 books. So I got these books from the Dollar Tree. I have not read these books just yet. I don't know what book I'm gonna read next. Like, I actually do. I want to read this book next. I really want to read this book next. I'm gonna read this book next. But back to these books. I got these books from the Dollar Tree not too long ago when I was in Houston for Thanksgiving. One of them is called The Last Debutante, and I guess it's about a debutante and like her life, and that really interests me because I'm really interested in like the golden age of Hollywood. I'm really interested in like the mannerisms from back in the day and how the women carried themselves as like, you know, real put together woman. Like it's real feminine. And this book is called Touched by the Sun, My Friendship with Jackie. So I guess this book is about a woman and her friendship with her best friend. And that really interests me because I adore my best friends. I love my best friends. And yeah, I like friendship. I love friendship. So that's why I got this book. And that was it. You know, I got my Bible. Hope you guys know what a Bible is. I also have a thesaurus and a dictionary. That's just not right here. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into my 2024 book haul. Or yeah, that's what I'm tired of this 2024 book haul. So thank you guys for tuning into my 2024 book haul. I will see you guys again next year with another book haul and see what else books we got for the new books we got of that year. The goal is to read 12 books for 2025, and I'm gonna accomplish that goal. So I'm gonna let you guys know which 12 books I read, and then when I come back next year around this time, I am going to have 12 books that I've read, and we're going to go over them. All right? This is from a fellow bookworm herself to other fellow bookworms. I love you all. I thank you guys for reading books. I hope you are very knowledgeable, and I hope you continue to read a book. And if you don't read books, but you sit up here and watch this video, pick up a book and read a book. It makes you escape from your reality, and it puts you in another reality. It teaches you things. It guides you into things. It shows you different experiences. It puts you in different pastimes. It puts you in different past lives. read a book. So that is about it for me. Thank you guys for watching this video. Again, my name is Heaven. If you don't know, now you do know. My name is Heaven and you are watching my YouTube channel. And thank you all for enjoying VLOGMAS.